Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Connie. Today, my guest star is the fabulous Heather with Heather's Country Crochet. How are you doing today, Heather?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. It's chilly today. It's 60 degrees, but I'm cold right now.
I woke up cold this morning. I was like, I'm cold. I don't know why. But I mean, it was like around about 50 when I got up. It's probably warmed up now some, but yep.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to get to 68 or 69 today.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Brenda here. Hi, Brenda. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? And for those joining us, leave a comment in the chat. Let us know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, please leave a comment to let us know you're here. And today we're going to be asking questions. So you can either, if you're currently here at the live, you can leave your answers in the chat, or if you watch the replay, you can leave your answers in the comment section. I mean, I'm hearing some feedback, Heather.
Oh, it may be where I was just trying to like fix my camera because it was all crooked.
Okay,
because I'm doing it on my phone and my finger was probably over the speaker.
Okay, I don't hear it now.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Let's see. We have Jennifer, Pam, Julia, and Julie here. How are y'all? And what are y'all working on? So do y'all have any plans for today?
I'm just crocheting today. I took a break from knitting for a few days. I knitted the whole month of December. All I did was knit. I didn't crochet any. So I felt like my crochet felt like I had abandoned it.
I was the opposite. Like pretty much since fall started, I had not been knitting. And I'm just now getting back into knitting, trying to get my pretty as a peacock shawl finished. And that's what I'm going to be working on after my live. And then tomorrow I'll be going back to my bod shawl that I'm working on.
Right, yeah. The Killer Queen shawl.
Yep.
I started to tackle that, and then I was like, you know what? All them triples, I don't know.
It's a lot of triples and puff stitches. And the funny thing is, I've never really done like a real project with a lower weight yarn. I've always used 4 and 3 weighted yarn for crochet. So this is my first time doing a real project with number 2 weighted yarn. And I sure know how to pick them.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever crocheted with below a 3. But now knitting, the main thing that I've knitted really is socks. And so I use the fingering weight yarn for it. But because I know during December, I think I knit like 5 pair of socks. And that was just during December. I think since I've started knitting, because I started in when did I start? I think around July or August maybe was when I first started knitting. And I started I knitted a sweater and I meant to bring it in here and I forgot to, because I finally finished it. But I've shown it on my podcast, stuff, and during my Vlogmas, because I did Vlogmas this year for the first time, and I struggled keeping up with it. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think I could do Vlogmas.
Right. Well, I wanted to give it a shot. I knew that it was going to be, iffy with me because I didn't know if I was going to be able to post every single day or not. And of course, I wasn't, but I was upfront, at the beginning. I was like, y'all don't hold it against me if I don't post every day. Um, because I mean, I have days where, absolutely nothing happens, and
Mm-hmm.
that's boring. So I don't want to bore people, so
I
I tried to
find
put the more interesting stuff on there.
I find most of the time it's the same old thing, just another day.
Right. Yeah. Because the whole month of December, like I said, the most that I really did was knit. And because I was knitting Christmas gifts. And so, that wasn't really all that exciting. I did do, I don't know if you know or not, but I'm hand dyeing yarn now. And I did a countdown to New Year's advent calendar with the yarn minis. So I did dye, that yarn and get all of those ready and everything. So I had recorded like some little clips of, stuff when I was getting that kind of stuff ready and everything. But of course I didn't show like the colors that I was dyeing the yarn because it had to be a surprise.
And dyed yarn is gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it. I enjoy doing it. It's it's hard sometimes trying to think of, what colors to put together and stuff like that, but because it's hard to, really know what people's gonna want.
Yeah,
Because I do it and then I sell it over on my Etsy shop. So, which so far I'm doing pretty good with it.
awesome.
You know, I it's done better than I thought it would. So, I'm proud of it. I haven't done anything new since the holidays and everything. I did the last yarn that I really did was my advent calendars and then my Christmas themed yarn. But
Let's see. We have Anita, Lisa, um, Linda, D. Ferguson. D. Ferguson. What do you prefer to be called? And Angela that joined us. Teresa. Let's see. Who else has joined us? Jen. And I think that's everybody. How are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? And if I missed anybody, please let me know. It's not intentional, but let us know what y'all are working on. Brenda's working on a blanket on the last ball for the length, then put a border on it after. What type of border are you planning to use, Brenda? And let's see. Angela's working on another knitting socks by a different person. Sweet. I love socks. Knitted socks.
I do
Teresa,
too.
Teresa's knitting a wrap. Pam's at work. And also Lisa's at work. She's getting a new phone today so I can do videos. Yay, I've missed your videos, Lisa. So yeah, hopefully Lisa will be back in the next few days with videos. So go check Lisa out with Coping with Yarn. Julie's working on an amigurumi and a mandala. Julia finished the Checky amigurumi from the movie. Let's see.
Wow.
Pam finished up a shawl last night. It's a kaleidoscope shawl pattern by Your Inspirations. Nice. And those of y'all that finish up projects, if you want to be included in my finished projects video, which is the 15th of every month. Um, Email me y'all pictures and I'll include it in that video. Or you can also post your pictures in my Facebook group. Jennifer's crocheting a hat, knitting a shawl and socks, and started an amigurumi, 4 whips besides her. Ooh, sweet. Anita's trying to make resin rings. Let me know how that goes, Anita. And Dee Ferguson's working on a baby blanket. Sweet. Okay, Jen says she can't stay long. But thank you for stopping by, Jen. I appreciate it. Yeah, Anita had told me she ordered some yarn from you, Heather.
Okay. I knew I think I just yeah, I bet you're who I mailed off yesterday.
Probably so, because I think she said something about it's been shipped now or something. Yeah, she's been talking about your yarn.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see. Pam says 2023 is the year I'm going to add stuff to my Etsy shop. It's been sitting empty for years. Can't sell it if I don't post it. And
Yep.
that's gonna be our main topic today is crochet and knitting goals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your name is Debbie. That should be easy for me to remember. All right. Lisa says I'm crocheting a cable hat right now, or attempting. Cables are so pretty. I especially love cables in knitting. Jen's crocheting a beanie, but it doesn't look good. Aw, I'm sure it looks good. She says, I don't do well with beanies, but I'm not giving up. You can do it, Jen. Linda's knitting 2 Afghans and crocheting an Afghan. See, that's my kryptonite blankets.
Mine too. I make tons and tons. I got so many blanket whips right now. It's not even funny.
I know that's like anything that's unfinished, except for one shawl, is blankets. The I do have a shawl I need to finally finish because I had to order more yarn for it, and I keep forgetting about it. One day I'll finish it.
Right. No rush.
Pam says she goes live on Thursday nights. Yeah, and you know what's funny? Like I am the worst at remembering what time people go live. I really am.
I know,
So
me too.
normally, like if I'm kind of scrolling YouTube and I notice somebody live, that's when I tend to pop up. But
Yeah.
I always feel like I miss people's lives.
I know. I know that I do. There for a little while I was doing pretty good at, keeping up with people's lives and everything. And then Vlogmas and everything happened. And I don't think I've watched a live since the 1st of December.
But like I said, it just happens to be whenever I pop on YouTube and looking and I see, oh, so and so's live. Okay, let me pop in for a little while.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Let's see. Lisa says her goal is to knit my hat. Awesome. Is that the knit along hat? We also have Joy and Thrift that joined us, and Sandra. How are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? Joy is knitting her first pair of socks. Oh, awesome!
Ooh.
I so want to see them when you finish, Joy. Oh, okay. Julia's gonna try your knit hat, my knit hat next. Ooh, yeah. I need to get that knit along wrapped up and then start working on the new one.
Yeah.
I'm behind. I live behind.
Well, with the holidays and everything, it's hard to, keep track of everything. At least it is for me. But I'm gonna start a crochet along this year too.
See, well, I'm going to get into that more later in the live because that has to do with one of the questions that I'll be asking today.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thriss is dying, cooking, and cleaning. This girl. Yeah, and Thriss goes live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And she's dyeing something I've never touched before. So she's excited and nervous. And Thriss makes some beautiful hand dyed yarn.
I've seen it. See, I've watched some of her dye-alongs and stuff. And I just don't really comment a lot when I'm watching the lives, because most of the time when I am watching them, I'm working on something. And so I'll just like play it on my TV instead of watching it on my phone. And I can only comment when I'm watching on my phone. So, but she does an awesome job.
And then Jen saying she's a liveaholic. Okay, Lisa says it is the knit along. Okay, that's what I thought. And Pam's live is 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay.
And let's see. Okay. So, do you have any whips or finished objects you want to show everybody, Heather?
I do not currently have any finished objects. But I have like 20 something whips, but I'm not going to show them all because I'm not like physically actually currently working on all of them. But I was going to talk about some things that I am currently working on. These are my Christmas Eve cast on socks that I did.
Ooh, nice.
And this is the they're called the Wyatt socks by the pattern is by the Crazy Sock Lady.
That's how I learned.
That's who I learned from too. I love her videos and stuff because she is really, really thorough, like with her the way that she teaches and everything. And then this is my first time ever trying a different heel, because normally I just do a heel flap and gusset. And this time I did the shadow wrap heel, and I used Earth Tone Girls, Denise, her tutorial for that. In her she has like it's a No Fear sock knitting class like series that she does. It's really, really good. I love it. But that was the yarn and stuff that I had got for my Christmas Eve cast on. And I got that off of Etsy from a shop called Ramblin' Needles. It was really pretty, and I think that pattern went along with it awesomely.
Yeah, the Crazy Sock Lady is like the go-to for socks.
Oh yeah.
For knit socks, that is.
Another thing, this is something that I'm currently working on. This is one of Bonnie Bay Crochet's.
Ooh, I love her patterns too.
That she recently, I think she just put it out Monday actually. But this yarn that I'm using for this, there's actually kind of a backstory to it. So at the first of the year, I had decided that I was going to get all of my old whips, organized, and anything that I just absolutely 100% knew that I was not going to finish, I was going to frog, and I still have a pile of stuff over here that I'm going to frog. But this yarn was 2 anniversary cakes that I had started a blanket with from Yarnspirations, and you were like alternating through both of them. So by the time that I got it all unraveled, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a mess. So what I did, it took me all day to do this, but I took and I hand balled each and every individual color from both of those anniversary cakes. So I'm going to, because you know, in an anniversary cake, it's like the self-striping yarn. Well, instead of like self-striping it that way, I basically kind of like color controlled it for both cakes. It was a grape gala and a blueberry birthday, I think, or something like that.
I prefer color controlling.
Normally, I don't. I just let it roll with the flow. You know, I really don't like the color control. It's just, I like to just do it, you know. But
sometimes with color controlling, it's hard to, like, when the color shades are close, it can be hard to break them up properly.
Yeah.
Hi, Eunice. How are you today? And what are you working on? Sorry.
With the way that this blanket, it's like a 5-row repeat. And so I can just do like 10 rows of each color and, you know, it'd be just right. And then there's 10 colors, so it'll be the perfect throw size blanket afterwards.
I love those two colors together.
That was, see, what I'm doing is I'm taking one color from one of the cakes and then one color from the other cake and alternating them. See, this color was from that blueberry birthday or whatever color, and this color was in the Great Gala. So, and I'm just going to alternate them back and forth. And then this one, I only have 2 left. So. This one is another anniversary cake project, and I had originally done a pattern also from Yarnspirations with this, and I just did not like the way that it was striping up, so I frogged it back. And I decided to do Bonnie Bay Crochets.
I know, I love her
Chevron Granny pattern. So, and that is going a lot better. I'm liking the way that it's, because see, this one I'm not color controlling. I'm just letting it go with the flow. Because with that granny stripe, you really don't have to color control. At least I don't think, you know. I like the way it just goes with the flow. I mean, you know. So, but I didn't have as much of it pulled out already before I frogged it back. So I didn't have as much, I guess, yarn barf, I guess, to deal with. And then this is the last one that I'm actually working on. So, this, let me set this down. Oh, sorry. I hit my stand.
It happens.
This pattern is also Bonnie Bay Crochet. And this is her colorful cables Afghan or whatever. Pretty, and it's got all the different textures.
I love textured stitches.
I do too. They are really, really time consuming, but they are so pretty when you get through with them.
But you know, like a lot of times things that you have to put more work into, it's worth it because it's just so beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that, and I think you appreciate it more too because you did spend so much time on it.
Exactly.
You know. But yeah, that's all I've got going this week. What?
Oh, you had something else?
You can go ahead.
Denise says she's making a sweater for her granddaughter right now using Lion brand homespun and mixed berry. The colorway is very nice. Ooh, sweet.
You know, I've never crocheted or anything with the homespun yarn. Isn't that like the bumpy yarn?
Yeah, it's kind of like wavy. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't like the homespun yarn.
I don't think that I would. I don't think that I could like um I don't think I could crochet with it or anything. I don't know.
And everyone's complimenting you on your whips.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I can't see the chat.
Oh, now depending on like how you're watching, usually you have two tabs. One says private chat and the other one says comments. And
Mine does not give me an option at all. I mean, I do have a chat button, but like I can't see anything that anybody has said. Okay, there it is.
because
Now
by
I see.
default, when you go live with someone else, it puts you on the wrong tab.
Okay. Well, when I look at it though, I can't see the screen. All I see then is the chat. I guess because I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Um.
And different devices are a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my desktop computer.
Normally, I do the lives on my computer, but because I changed some stuff in here in my yarn room, to give me more like room for like tutorials and stuff. I took my computer out of here and moved it into my living room. So, and I didn't know if my son was going to go in there and start watching TV or something. You never know. So, I decided to just come in here and do it on my phone today. So,
All right, Lisa, I hope you have a good day. Oh, one thing I do want to mention to y'all, I think, 62 away from the big 2K, which is a huge milestone. So if anybody would be willing to shout me out to help me reach my goal, I would really appreciate it. I'm like, it seems like just yesterday, it was like, you know, you were happy when you got your first subscriber.
I know, right?
It seems like just yesterday. All right.
Yeah.
So do you have anything going on your channel you want to let everyone know about?
Currently I have already announced on my channel. I just haven't really given a lot of detail about it yet, but I am going to be hosting a crochet along. It's going to be basically a year-long crochet along. Um I haven't even said on my channel yet really what the name of it's going to be, but
I'm I'm
it's
guessing a blanket.
yeah. It's actually I'm actually calling it the 4S blanket. And what it's gonna be is a scrappy hold on a minute. Let me remember. Scrappy what is the word? I should have wrote this down. Scrappy stitch sampler. No, that's not all of it. Because it's the 4S's. Scrappy. Scrappy Stitch Sampler Squares blanket. There you go. I knew I would remember it. My mind is so bad, y'all. It's so bad.
I get brain fog all the time.
Oh Lord. But anyways, it's gonna be one square a month. And the first square will actually go out next week. And I'm thinking on the second Tuesday of every month
Awesome.
to release the squares. That way, when December gets here, there'll be enough time before the end of the month to still be able to do the border because it's going to be a join as you go. Also, that way, by the end of the year, the whole blanket will already be put together. So all you got to do then is add a border. But yeah, it's just going to be one square a month, and I'm going to be using scrap yarns. It's a medium weight yarn. It's and it's going to be like a stitch sampler square. It'll range from like beginner stitch to like intermediate stitch. I'll start it with like an beginner type, and then as we go throughout the year, they'll get a little more harder, I guess.
Let's see. Okay, Thrift, thank you so much. Yeah, actually, well, I just checked. It's actually 63 I need to reach 2K.
Well, that's awesome.
Because YouTube, it bounces around.
Yeah, I know. I went from like 550 to 542, back up to 550, and I'm like, what? Okay. So I think I'm back at like 550 now, 552, something like that.
So if y'all haven't checked out Heather's channel, go check her out. I have her link in the description box of today's live. So was there anything else you wanted to share?
I think that's all that's like really going on my channel right now, because I mean, I have plans for stuff, but they're not really in the works yet, so they're still just in my head kind of plans. So although sorry, I have made the decision, and I had announced this on my podcast that I'd done on New Year's Day, but I am changing the name of my channel, and that's just because since I have gotten away from just solely crocheting anymore, because I've added so many other crafts and things to my channel that I talk about and show and everything. I have decided to change it to Heather's Country Crafting instead of crochet, so that, people won't think that I'm just a crochet channel anymore, because I'm not just a crochet channel anymore. To start with, that was what it was, but I've added a lot more. So
yeah, because I may even start getting into some cross stitching and diamond painting, because I had gotten some kits in, and I'm thinking about like one day a week working on other crafts. That way I actually get stuff accomplished with those crafts.
Yeah. I love diamond painting. I've gotten several that I've still got to post like unboxing videos for. But I really started enjoying that, and it helps with my anxiety like a lot doing it. The knitting as well, which crochet's always kind of been there for me, but with me being able to learn this new stuff, my anxiety's improved. But now the cross stitching, I learned to cross stitch when I was young, just like crochet, but I can't hardly see it no more. My eyes has done got bad.
I worry about that too, because I haven't cross stitched since I started yarn crafts.
Right.
So it's been about 3 years, I think, since I've cross stitched.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, hopefully my vision.
I know. Well, mine, it's been, I don't know. I don't think I've cross stitched since my son was younger, like probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 maybe. And now he's 15, almost 16. So, I mean,
and with cross stitching, it takes more focus.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with little bitty
tiny holes. Yeah.
Let's see. We have Ruby that joined us, and Jen had to go. I hope you have a good day, Jen. Sandra's saying, I really like scrap blankets. Recently, I pulled a scrap ball from a bag, tied magic knot, no color control. Made a few like this. They look nice. Ooh,
Oh, I love those kind of scrap blankets.
but yeah, like even diamond painting, like I started that before I learned yarn crafts, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been a while since I've done that. All right, so we're gonna get into some questions about crochet goals.
Okay.
So I'd love to hear everyone's answers in the chat or those watching the replay in the comments section. I'm going to let you answer first, then I'll answer, and
Okay.
then I'll periodically read what everyone's saying in the chat. Hi Mary, how are you? She has wet nail polish on. And what are you working on, Mary? All right. So, what are some stitches you would like to learn? Um, well, I'm going to say this year, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get to the goal this year. It may
Right.
be like the following year.
Um, I mean, as far as like specific stitches, um, I wouldn't mind, like broadening my cabling, knowledge for like crochet. I also want to learn to like do cable knitting. I haven't even tried to do any kind of cables with knitting yet. I'm still very vanilla when it comes to knitting. Um, but I still want to learn mosaic. I have said this for like 2 years now already. And I still have yet to do any kind of mosaic crochet and definitely not knit. um, but I mean, I have a couple of like patterns saved that other, people have on tutorials and stuff for or whatever. Um, that I'm eventually want to try. But honestly, before I have so many old whips, and I know that this is one of your questions, but it's gonna kind of already answer it because it kind of goes along with this question. But I have so many whips that I've had over the years. Like I I've even like put them all over on my Ravelry page just so that I can keep up with them better, so that I can kind of like check them off as I get them done. But that's kind of what my goal is for this year, is to get all of those whips done so that I can move on to newer things. So, and have them done so that I don't have a bunch of baskets or whip carts or, project bags or whatever, just everywhere. So I want to, get all that stuff done. So I'm trying to focus on, a couple at the time, like I was showing to begin with. Those are all old whips that I've had, basically old whips, because some of them were frogged and then redone, so they're new old whips. Which that colorful cable Afghan or whatever by Bonnie Bay Crochet, that pattern I think I started in like 2021, and I put it down and I don't even remember why. Like, and I just forgot about it, I guess. But once I got in here and started like going through stuff, I wound up having, I believe I counted like 21 whips that were just sitting in baskets. And look, that ain't even, look, I opened this closet after I counted those. I have a closet right here. I opened that and then there was more in there. And I was like, are you kidding me? What is going on here? So I got to get some of this out of the way so that I can focus on, newer stuff, because these whips are going to drive me crazy if I don't. I have start-itis like so bad. I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, I want to make that. And then I start it and then I never finish it because I start something else.
See, that's one thing with crochet and knitting. I have been pretty good, really good about what I start, I finish.
Mm-hmm.
My kryptonite is blankets, though.
Right. Now, I would say probably 3/4 of my whips are blankets. So, but now so far with my knitting, since I've started knitting, I do pretty good about finishing that stuff. Right now, I think I have 3. I think I only have 3 knitting whips. The rest are crochet, and that's the 21 is all crochet. That wasn't including my knitting whips.
Let's see. We have Purple Butterfly. What's your first name, Purple Butterfly? And we also have Michelle that joined us. How are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? For me, when it comes to stitches that I would like to learn, the first one I want to show y'all is the broomstick lace stitch. I love how this stitch looks. Yeah. Now, I did view a tutorial on it, and it looks like it's easy to do. I just haven't actually done the stitch yet. And really, I do want to do a tutorial on this stitch too once I know I learned it. But I really want to make a shawl using this.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty.
And I have thought about trying to design my own shawl pattern where I would probably combine it with a different stitch. But I love how this looks.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And the funny thing is, like, you either use like a big knitting needle, like a really wide one, and it's not to knit with. It's just basically to hold part of the stitch. Or the way that it got its name is you can also use a broomstick. But I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
that's really cool.
Let us know in the chat what stitches you want to learn, like possibly this year or at least in the future. All right, another stitch I want to learn how to do, and I have watched some tutorials on it. I just haven't actually tried it, and I want to do a tutorial once I learn this stitch. The braided puff stitch. I love how it looks. I love the texture.
I like the way that it looks, but I hate puff stitches. I hate doing them.
They can be a pain, but I love the look of them. So
yeah, they are beautiful.
I don't let it stop me
doing them. They're so aggravating to me.
Because Bag O' Day shawl, the one that I'm working on, the puff stitches.
I think that was another reason why I chose not to do that shawl.
Because I just find it's going slower for me. And then with a number 2 weighted yarn, that slows me down. But I would love to make a shawl with this stitch.
Yeah, that would be pretty. It'd be real time consuming.
If you can't tell, I love shawls.
I do too. I got on a shawl kick last year. And it still seems funny saying last year because it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, I got on a shawl kick. I made one of Bag O' Day's shawls right here. This was the bobbles run through it shawl. And I liked it. I enjoyed making it. And then
I love odd shawls.
I did the I don't know if you know spring the
Yeah.
fiber enthusiast. She did a shawl crochet along the Turbulent Skies shawl, and
Yeah,
I
I've
did
seen that
it.
one.
And I think another one of Bag O' Day shawls. The It was like a spin-off of the virus shawl. I forget what it was called.
There was the
But it
virus.
had post
Oh,
stitches or something
yeah,
in
the
it.
virus shawl or the virus. Is it
No, it
post
wasn't that
virus?
one that I did. I know which one you're talking about.
Oh,
It was a different one.
the owl of the night, or bird of the night,
Something
something.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I did both of those.
Yeah. I am probably gonna still eventually do the post virus shawl or whatever. I just haven't. I don't need to start anything new. I swear I don't. Which, I mean, I'm still gonna be doing the crochet along, and I always do Jada and Stitches her calendar blankets.
Hmm.
Ever since I started watching her, I do her calendar blankets every year. I still have to finish my one for last year though. I got behind on it, so I've got to catch up on it and get it finished. I think I still got like October, November, December to do.
Hi, Wicked Granny. How are you today? And what are you working on? So another stitch that I want to learn, and this one I want to do a shawl with too. It's the crocodile
Ooh.
stitch.
Yes. Now I will agree with that one. I have seen that so many different places, and there is so many different designs that stitch is in, and that would be really neat to learn.
Now the thing is, like, I have kind of watched some tutorials on it, and it's worked differently than a normal stitch,
Mm-hmm.
from what I could see.
I don't know that I've ever even watched a tutorial on it,
Because
but
if I recall right, you kind of work sideways. If
really,
but that's when I want to learn, because I was going to do a
yeah,
tutorial on it. I thought like I could just easily. I'm like, oh, this is when I'm going to have to play with some
right, yeah,
to get it down.
yeah. It's awesome looking though. I love the way that it looks.
Me too.
And there's a lot of really cool looking like designs with it and everything.
Let's see. I'm trying to see where I left off. Mary says I just finished some crochet thread angels, so I can test and compare some different stiffening agents. Ooh, nice.
I have never been able to crochet with thread. It is just too tiny. I can't see it.
Let's see. Okay, purple butterfly is Lori. Hi, Lori. And Denise is saying that stitch looks interesting. I think she's referring to the broomstick lace. Lori says I'm having a hard time with the slip stitch side of my corner to corner. Um, you know who has an excellent tutorial on corner to corner? It's actually a scarf pattern that she has, but it's the same concept. It's Barbara with Crochet Therapy.
Hmm.
That may be it. It was a candy cane scarf that she did. It's red and white.
Huh.
Um,
That reminds me. That's something else that I would like to learn is not corner to corner. I know how to do like regular corner to corner, but like when you're changing colors to do like a Grafgan type thing in corner to corner, I'd like to learn how to do that because it looks so cool and when it's done, but I just can't figure out, you know, all that changing colors stuff. That gets me. That's why I don't really color control a whole lot because changing colors is hard to me, especially in knitting. Oh my lord.
I love color work and knitting.
I want to learn how to do that a lot too. And
Actually,
oh, go ahead.
actually, whenever I do my next knit along, I plan to show how to make what a color work beanie, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to design the pattern for it.
That'll be good. Cause see, I want to learn how to do like the fair isle knitting and stuff. And I do have a sweater that I started that is kind of like the fair isle type uh design or whatever. Because it's got like the pattern in it, where you have to follow the chart.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's I'm doing okay on it, but it's very, very slow. Very slow.
It
But
does.
I don't knit fast anyways. But
It gets more time consuming doing color work, and then like you know, sometimes you gotta untangle your yarn.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, and I knit continental too. So, I mean, I literally cannot hold my yarn in this hand. So, I have to it's only 2 colors in this sweater. So, that's a good thing. But I have to do both strands over on my left hand. So, it's hard to keep them separated for me to like get the right one at the right time. You know what I mean? So,
let's see. We have Angie and Bridget that joined us. How are y'all? And what are y'all working on? But when it comes to corner, it's it's been a while since I've done it. But one thing I remember that I did whenever I learned how to do corner to corner, I used stitch markers to mark like the side, and that
mm-hmm,
helped me keep it straight, and like the points go upward. That was the other thing I struggled with.
mm-hmm.
Let's see. Michelle says she wants to learn interlocking fillet, working on
Oh, that is so fun. Sorry.
she's working on Sophia's universe right now. Let's see. Wicked Granny's working on a beanie for her grandson. Nice. I think Brenda's referring to the crocodile stitch. She's saying that it's a yarn eater, but beautiful. Yeah, some stitches are yarn eaters.
Mm-hmm.
um, Thrift says, I don't have an issue learning stitches for crochet, really. I'm determined to learn knitting. Um, and really, a lot of people get intimidated by knitting. Knitting is not as hard as you think. It just takes a while to get the feel for it.
Mm-hmm. I was terrified of knitting for so long. I wanted to learn for many, many, many years. And then last year I was finally like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I am going to teach myself to knit. And I just watched some tutorials and I practiced and I did it. I just, played with scrap yarn and practiced the stitches first. And all I did to begin with was went and bought one of those little cheap learn to knit kits from Walmart with the big old long needle. And now that was very fiddly. Those big old long needles.
I recommend
But
bamboo.
I can't knit with wooden needles.
Oh,
Like everything gets hung up. I cannot. It won't slide for me. I guess because I think I'm too tight, but it just works better on the metal or whatever for me. But once I started knitting with circular needles, I was good.
I mean, I use aluminum, but they do recommend for a beginner
Mm-hmm.
bamboo because it helps when it comes to not having slip stitches
Right.
because the yarn hugs it more.
Well, and I think that's probably why I am such a tight knitter, because I did start with the aluminum needles. So I was holding everything like right here, like this. I was using, you know, help. But I was holding everything like this right here, doing it so that I wouldn't drop nothing. So that's how I started. But like I said, once I started with the circular needles, I didn't have as much problem, holding it and everything. So, but I've tried using like the bamboo because I have some. I ordered some because I had seen that in tutorials also, that for beginners, they recommend the bamboo needles and stuff. So I ordered me some, but I just, for the life of me, cannot get them stitches to slide on that needle whatsoever. So I was like, no, I'm just going to use the aluminum or metal or what. I don't know. My favorite are the Chalgoo. So.
And the aluminum, they say that typically a person can knit faster with aluminum than the bamboo. But I mean, it's one of those things that it also depends on the person.
Yeah.
And it's really what you're more comfortable using.
Yeah.
But when it comes to learning how to knit, the most important things is to just keep at it and don't give up. Um, because I mean, I've had people that have struggled learning to knit, and like how I did my beanie knit along. I mean, I've had people say, "I finally learned how to knit," and it's like awesome. So don't give up.
Right.
Try different tutorials.
Most definitely.
And you have different methods. Where some people can do it one way, and then another person, they got to do it the opposite way.
Yeah, because when I first started, I tried to do the English, where you throw the yarn. And like I said, I could not for the life of me get that yarn to do right in my right hand. So, and then I finally found a tutorial of how to do it continental, and that worked better for me because I hold my yarn, even crocheting and doing my Tunisian crochet. I hold my yarn different than a lot of people. A lot of people wrap their yarn, like all through their fingers and stuff. And I've never done that, not for crochet at all. Like when I'm holding my yarn for crochet, I just hold it like this, like it's a fist, So for my Tunisian crochet or for my knitting, I only put it over one finger, and then it drapes through the rest of my hand. And that was the way that I was able to comfortably be able to do it, because like I said, this right hand did not work with that yarn. Not at all.
But just remember, you can do it. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joy says, I've done a blanket in the crocodile stitch about 5 years ago.
Oh,
well, I bet that was gorgeous.
I bet it was. And very warm. That looks like it would be a very warm stitch too.
Yeah. Wicked Granny says, my daughter has wanted those fingerless gloves done in that stitch for years. I haven't worked up the nerve yet. You can do it. You can do it. But I do love the look of the gloves with the crocodile stitch. That is gorgeous.
Yeah. And Fiber Spider has a hat tutorial with that stitch too.
And Denise is like, yes, broomstick lace. I love that stitch. Anita got her first mold filled. Let's see. Oh, Denise is saying she thinks Bag O'Day has a fingerless gloves using the crocodile stitch. Yeah, I know I've seen some different patterns for them.
Yeah.
Wicked Granny says, yeah, I think so. I'm using one of her beanie patterns right now. Yeah, Bag O'Day has a lot of nice patterns.
Oh, yeah.
Bridget says, I'm spinning today, so I'll be lurking. Okie dokie. And that's one thing. For those that spin yarn, if y'all want to come live with me, I am looking for some yarn spinners to come live to talk about the subject of spinning yarn.
That's something that I want to learn to do, is spin yarn. I want to get me one of those, I think they're called nanos. It's like the little tabletop electric spinner. It's little bitty. Spring uses it on her lives on Thursday nights. It's teeny tiny. It's not real huge. And she had told me where to get them. They were sold out at the time or whatever, and they were waiting to be restocked. I wrote it down. I don't remember the name. But I want to get me one and, try to learn how to do that. I don't know that I could do the drop spindle thing. She recommends everybody to start, like with the drop spindle. But I'm one of those type of people, I guess you could say, that just like with the knitting, I didn't start with the bamboo needle. I got to go big or go home. You know what I mean?
And everybody's different.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Yeah.
Let's see. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just.
Okay. Let's see. Pam says there's a new crochet along starting, and it's Tunisian mosaic. Ooh.
Oh.
And she says she's done Tunisian and mosaic, but not the two combined. So she wants to try it. That sounds interesting.
It does. I do Tunisian, but I've never done the mosaic. So, Does she say where the crochet along is?
Which channel is it on, Pam? Let's see. Pam says, I am not a fan of wooden needles either. I prefer the metal. And really, the funny thing is, I always forget this, but I technically did store it with the metal needles. Then I saw like the whole thing about the bamboo, and I invested in like the cheapest bamboo circulars.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
They started splitting on me. So then I invested in the Knit Picks aluminum circulars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I did. Michelle loves spinning. Actually, Brenda Bear came live with me and talked about spinning. But I would love to have like some different people, a few other people, give their input on it too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Thriss is saying Bagaudet does have the fingerless with crocodile. She did it.
Okay.
But yeah, any spinners, send me an email, and if y'all want to come live with me. Let's see. Bridget says if you only want to make minis, Nano is great if you want full size yarn. Get that
eel wheel?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Hmm.
Oh, hi, Vicky.
Okay.
How are you? And what are you currently working on? All right. We are caught up in the chat.
I do like minis, but maybe that I could just start out with that. And then if I decide that I like it, go to the eel wheel. I don't know. It's still a little ways off. Got to get over Christmas and everything before I can spend any money. Them things are expensive.
Now, sometimes you can find stuff used, though.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget says she has 2 wheels in the eel wheel 6. So my next question, we've kind of touched on some of this.
Yeah.
What are some crochet techniques you would like to learn?
Well, like I said, the mosaic, because I look at that more like a kind of a technique than
me too.
than really a stitch, because it's kind of more like a design. Also, I've never made any of like the mandala blankets. And I've seen several that I would love to make, but they look so complicated. And that's kind of like a technique to me too, you know. Um, so yeah, probably those. The mosaic. Now I just wanted to touch on one of the comments from earlier. Somebody had said something about wanting to learn the lock and fillet crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Now I really would recommend I think her name is pronounced Lissa Conley. It may be Lisa Conley, but it's Lissa. Lissa Conley Designs. She does have a YouTube channel where she does some tutorials on there of how to like start the blankets and stuff. It's kind of like her, it's for her sample stitches really, or sample lock and fillet crochets that she does. But she has some really, really awesome patterns. And I mean, it's so fun. Like it takes a little while to do, most definitely, because I mean you literally have to really pay attention to every single line that you do, but it's really, really fun. I've actually got one of those going right now too, but it's in my living room. I didn't even think to bring it in here. But I've bought a few of her patterns, and I made my dad one for his birthday. He's an Alabama fan, like football fan. And she has this pattern for this an out like a flag, like the American flag, but it's got the outline of Alabama in it. And so I done it in Alabama colors for him for his birthday. And my daddy's never really liked anything that I crocheted or anything before. Like he's just like, oh, that's pretty, you know, or whatever. He didn't never really just fall over it or nothing, but he was absolutely in love with that blanket. So he loved it. So it made me happy because I spent a lot of time on it.
For me, well, I did do one pumpkin in fall that was Tunisian, but I want to learn more with Tunisian crochet, and mosaic is something else I would like to learn. Now some of these things I don't know if I'll definitely get to this year.
Right.
There's so much I want to do. That's a sad thing.
Yeah.
um, One of these days I plan to make my first graph gan. But right now I'm burnt out on blankets. Uh,
You can always do like a pillow. I did that one time. It was my first ever like graph anything. And I made my husband a pillow. I think it was last year for Christmas. Or not last year now, but the year before now. But it was like it was a rooster, and I made it into a pillow. It turned out really cool.
that sounds neat.
That was the first time I had ever done anything, and I was like, I ain't never doing this again. But it wasn't that bad. But it was all single crochet, and that was a lot of single crochet. So
Now, another thing that I want to learn how to do, and I keep saying I'm gonna do this, but I never do. I want to do beads.
oh,
Like, when I knit a shawl, especially knitting, but even possibly crochet too.
right.
And I always say, "Oh, I'm gonna put beads on a project," and I never do.
Yeah.
It's like I never take the time to. I need to try to do that this year.
Yeah. They look good on projects.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. I don't know how to do it either.
I don't think it's supposed to be that hard, but I also got to see like what beads that, I have enough of, because I got a lot of beads for jewelry making, but do I have enough to add to like a whole shawl?
Right.
So of the same bead or beads that will go together.
Right.
And then another thing I want to do is do more projects in the lower weighted yarns. Like knitting, I want to do more lace patterns, which I'm going to be getting into that shortly. Well, depending on how much time we have left.
I tend to
Oh,
get long-winded sometimes. I'm sorry.
so- well, that's the thing. You never know. Like I like to be prepared than under prepared.
Right.
So a lot of times, like if I ask questions, I prepare more questions than what I'm probably going to get to.
Right.
Um, which actually is the next question, so I should get into that. But like even crochet, I want to start crocheting with the lower weights. You know, I'm working on my first shawl with number 2 right now. Um, but that's some stuff that I do want to work on. All right, let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. Michelle's saying she has a cheaper option for spinning. She got a spin e cube. So that's another thing that y'all could look into.
A
And
spin what now?
a spin e cube.
Huh.
Spin dash e dash cube, but with a K instead of a C.
Okay.
Vicky says she just finished an amigurumi bee and working on her scarf again. Frogged about half of it. Aw. But I would love to see your bee, Vicky. But yeah, frogging is the worst. Michelle says hers was $350 and it was made in Tennessee. And she says, I'll teach you mosaic and you teach me filet.
Okay.
I haven't done filet yet.
I think she's talking about the lock and fillet crochet.
Pam says make a small graph game with cotton and make some coasters. Yeah, that's an idea. And she says you can do the same with mosaic. Small pattern to get the hang of it and make a coaster set.
Yeah.
That's good thinking.
Yeah.
Denise says she did a scrap game years ago in double and front post. I still have it. It's very colorful. Ooh, neat.
They look good. That's so much changing colors.
You know what's funny? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like a lot of color changes per se either, but it doesn't bug me as much anymore because I mean I've done temperature blankets and I find a lot of times you just gotta force yourself to do things.
Well, the thing about the Grafgans though is you've got so many bobbins because you don't really cut your yarn every time. You carry it basically in a way. So all that yarn winds up getting tangled up and it's aggravating. So how people actually deal with like doing like full Afghans or I've seen people do like queen size blankets and stuff, and I'm like, man, y'all got patience like ain't no other. Because
I mean I do color work, but like I've like a Grafgan that's like big, and like I'm not really sure how to go about the color work with corner to corner, and I'm used to carrying because usually like when I do color work, the graph continues like around a beanie.
Right.
But like I'm not as used to like I've never done the bobbins. Let's see. Denise says, I'm going to make a bandana scarf with wooden beads. Ooh, that sounds gorgeous. All right, next question is what are some crochet or knit patterns you would like to make this year?
Okay, well, again, I want to finish my crochet whips that I already have. However, there is, like I said, there are some mosaic patterns out there that I would love to try. Um, I really don't know if I'll do it this year though. Probably not again. And then the mandala, I want to do a mandala really bad, but that's a lot of color changing too.
I love the like
Um,
mandala vest. I think those are gorgeous.
See, I thought about trying something like that because it's smaller than a blanket, and I I have a pattern like a I want to say it's a tutorial. It may be just a pattern, but I have one or the other saved in my phone. And then spring, she came out or she designed a new like vest looking thing, and it kind of looks like a mandala type vest, and she hasn't done her tutorials on it or anything yet, so I'm waiting before I even attempt to try to start one of that stuff. I'm waiting on her to put those tutorials out to see if I maybe want to make it instead, because the way that hers looked, it looks really really pretty, and like I said, it kind of looks like the mandala type blankets or whatever. But I also want to do more of the what is it called, the cabled blankets, the cabled blankets on like Bonnie Bay Crochet. Man, I love her channel.
I
She
know.
has awesome patterns over there,
And
and
textured stitches.
yeah, and I mean there's so many of her blankets that I want to make. And then I just bought a pattern of hers too that is a sweater pattern, but it's got like the cables and stuff, and I want to make it, but I got to get some DK yarn for it because it's made with DK yarn, and I don't have any DK yarn that's just plain solid. It's all like cakes and stuff, you know. So, and I don't really want a striped sweater that's cabled. I'd rather it just be a solid color. And if I wind up not finding any that I like, I may just dye it myself. I've got to order some more yarn for dyeing too. So if I don't find any DK weight that I want, I'm just going to wind up probably dyeing some myself for me to make that sweater, because I want to make that sweater so bad.
Awesome.
But yeah.
We have Jessie that joined us. Hi, Jessie. How are you, and what are you working on? For me, I'm gonna pull up these patterns, and this is what I was kind of getting into earlier. The ones I'm gonna show first are some of the knitted patterns that I want to make, and after I finish my pretty as a peacock shawl, I plan to. Okay, yeah, this is the one. This is what I plan to make next with knitting. It's called the Bryce Canyon shawl. And
Oh.
and it has cables and lace work.
Oh.
Which I've done both, but never together like
Right.
this.
Yeah, I
So
wouldn't even attempt that yet.
I think this pattern is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. That is a beautiful shawl.
And because it was like all of a sudden I started stumbling across cables and lace work combined, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do this.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome looking.
I just
I want to learn how to do the cables in knitting too, because they're so pretty to me. But
and they're not hard. They're really not. They look like they would be.
mm-hmm.
You're just you're just doing the stitches out of order. You put them on a cable based on what the pattern says. You either put it in front or in back, and then you can you work up your stitches next on the needle. Then you go back to the ones on the cable. That's all it is.
I've watched a few tutorials and stuff on it already. I hadn't tried it yet.
But it's really not hard.
I think it would probably be better for me to try to start with like a beanie that's got cables or something.
That's what I did. The first time doing cables was on a beanie.
Yeah.
And then this is probably what I'm gonna do after the one I just showed you. This is the Darwin shawl by Very Busy Monkey.
Hmm.
Both the same designer, the pattern I showed before. But look at how pretty.
That's busy looking.
I think this is gorgeous.
Oh man, I love the way that's shaped.
But I want to do like a solid color on both of the shawls.
Yeah.
But I think it's just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I love knit shawls, especially the lace work. And like I said, this is both worlds combined.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Chris, how are you today? And what are you working on? All right. And then now I'm going to show the crochet ones I want to do, which they're all bod patterns.
I love her patterns.
Me too. All right. Well, I'm going to be showing pictures since hers are video.
Right, yeah.
And you can't really share the video.
Yeah.
All right. This is one I want to make. It's the crochet wrap, and I actually tried making it a while back, but I used the wrong yarn choice.
Yeah.
So I want to do this one in a solid color yarn.
Is that like a rectangle?
Yeah, this one's
shape?
Rectangle.
Okay.
I love this pattern. She has such gorgeous. I mean, my favorite are usually shawls, but she's like one of the best designers. All right, where's my thing?
I think the most stuff that I make of hers are shawls and beanies. So
I've never done her beanies.
Oh, I love them. I love them.
Here's another one that I want to do, the crochet summer shawl.
I remember seeing that one.
I think that one's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one I find is kind of similar looking to this one. Let's get that pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Those shawls that like that last one you just showed is be really good in like the spring or summer. And yeah, I like that one too.
The olive branch shawl, which I find this one looks similar to the other one. I think that one's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are really good for like the spring or summer.
Yeah, pretty. Okay, let me close out these tabs. Always laughs at me because I always have like multiple tabs open on the computer. Oh, hey, Lulu. Sindy, how are you doing? And what are you working on? All right. Let's see where I left off. See what everyone's saying they want to try to make this year. Let's see. I think this is where I left off. Yeah. Pam says, oh, yeah, it can be a tangled mess. And she's referring to when you do color work. I bought some small drawstring canvas bags that hold one skein, and I use a stitch marker and attach it to the blanket. That's a good idea. And she's made graphgans in single crochet and corner to corner. Just depends on how detailed you want the image to be.
Yeah.
Denise says she would like to try and make a Star Baby blanket and a convertible blanket. Nice. Wicked Granny says, I'm going to try to do the dragon scale fingerless gloves for my daughter Other than that, I want to make 3 blankets for the kids. Ooh, sweet. Denise says, after the sweater for my granddaughter, I have a summer top to make for one of her other 2 granddaughters. Oh, and she's also making a mile a minute lap band. Nice. Jessie says, I'm working on a hooded sweater that Angela from my precious yarnery had shown recently. Ooh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, when y'all get y'all finished projects made, send me pictures. I do a finished projects video the 15th of every month. You can either email it to me at justanotherstitch2020@gmail.com or post it in my Facebook group. And both those links are in the description box of pretty much every video. Well, one's a link, one's my email. Oh, y'all love those shawls I shown. I fell in love when I found them. Joy says I'd like to get to that point, but I'll worry about the socks first. And socks really aren't hard. The hardest part is the heel, but even that's not really that hard. Wicked Granny says I have some Stylecraft special DK that I got from Love Crafts. It's really soft, and I'm going to make my grandson's blanket in it. Ooh,
is it acrylic or wool?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, everyone seems to be liking the patterns I just showed. Oh, Denise says the olive branch is on her list. Wicked Granny says, good for if you live in Texas and it doesn't get cool enough to wear shawls much. I live in the neighboring state, Louisiana. And Heather's in Alabama.
I'm in Alabama, so it's hot here too most of the time.
Let's see. Sindy says, I am working on another little scrubby for now. I should have it finished today. Not sure what to start next. There are so many beautiful things to choose from. Yep. And the funny thing is, you think you plan out what you're going to do next, and then, or your next few projects, and then you discover new stuff and get sidetracked.
Like me, and then you wind up with 100 whips.
Okay, Wicked Granny says it's acrylic.
Okay. I might have to check that out for my sweater.
Awesome. Okay, you have a good day, Pam. Yeah, we're fixing to wrap up. So is there anything else you want to mention, Heather?
Just if anybody on here is interested, going and checking out my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop link is under all of my videos in the description box. So if y'all could go over and maybe favorite some items or favorite my shop, that would really help me out. Thank you.
And I do have Heather's channel link in the description box of today's live. So please go check her out. She's amazing.
I'm just me. I'm crazy. I'm a loony.
I can be crazy. There's times I'm a goofball.
That's me. I'm just a big goofy.
Today I haven't been feeling the greatest. I've been having a headache, so yeah, I'm not as right. Cheerful and goofy today.
Yeah, well, I think that my thing is I didn't get much sleep last night, and I've been awake since 5 this morning. I've drank 3 cups of coffee, and I'm still tired because I didn't even go to bed until like around 12 or after last night. So I think that's why I'm goofy, is because I lack of sleep.
I had my 2 cups of coffee today. Let's see. We have Binky Bunny that just joined us. We're starting to wrap things up, but I am glad that you popped in. Hopefully you decide to catch the replay. And those that are leaving, I hope y'all have a good day. Let's see. Cindy saying she does feel better today after medications and resting in today. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
But she says, I am still not doing too much, trying to take it easy. Do not want to get my blood pressure back up again. Yeah, you don't want to do
Yeah.
that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play my closing video and then we'll come back and say our goodbyes.
Okay.
Where are you? Here it is. And I want to thank you, Heather, for coming live with me. And I want to thank everyone for watching and also those that will be watching the replay. Um, but yeah, I hope y'all all have a fabulous Yarny day. Be the light and bye.
Bye.